You did it again. You told yourself you wouldn't. You weren't even hungry. But there it was, something sweet. And before your brain had finished forming the thought, your hand had already moved. That moment wasn't weakness. It was something far older than you, running a program that was never meant for this world. Your brain is not a modern machine. It sits behind your eyes inside a skull that walks upright and sends emails. But underneath all of that, it runs on rules written hundreds of thousands of years ago. Rules that were not designed for supermarkets, not for vending machines, not for a bag of something sitting on the counter at 11 p.m. They were designed for survival on an ancient savanna, where sweet things were rare, precious, and almost always safe to eat. Bitterness in the natural world is a warning. Bitter often means poison, but sweetness almost always meant ripe fruit. It meant calories. It meant energy your body could use or store for the days when nothing else was available. It meant you were going to live a little longer. So your brain learned to reward sweetness, deeply, chemically, in a way that felt undeniable. When you eat something sweet, your brain releases dopamine. It floods the nucleus accumbens deep in your brain's reward circuitry. And it doesn't just make you feel good, it tells your brain, whatever just happened, do that again. Make a note, prioritize it, return to it. Your brain files sugar under the same category as water when you're thirsty. It registers as necessary. And it does this regardless of whether you actually need it. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan showed that the brain has two distinct systems, one that generates desire and one that generates pleasure. Sugar hijacks both. Here's where it gets stranger. Researchers at Yale found that people who described themselves as food addicted showed reward region activation just from seeing an image of a milkshake. Before tasting anything, the dopamine was already moving. Your ancestors didn't have advertisements or packaging engineered to trigger craving from across a room, but you do, and your ancient brain responds to those signals exactly the way it was designed to respond to spotting ripe fruit through the trees. With urgency, with a feeling that you need to act now. That urgency made sense on the savannah. Fruit doesn't wait, but your brain doesn't know there's no urgency with the candy on your counter. Robert Lustig at UC San Francisco argued that fructose, the sugar found in almost all processed food, is processed by your liver, not your bloodstream. Your liver doesn't send a clear satiety signal to your brain, so when you eat it, your brain doesn't register that energy has arrived. It stays in a waiting state, still wanting, still looking. You keep eating because from your brain's point of view, it hasn't registered that you ate. You are not broken. You are running ancient software in an environment your software was never designed for, and the environment has been designed to exploit exactly that mismatch. Food companies reverse engineered your neurobiology. They found the precise ratio of sugar, salt, and fat. What scientists inside the industry called the bliss point, calibrated to trigger maximum craving without triggering fullness. That number was engineered from the same circuits that kept your ancestors alive. Your craving for sugar is not a character flaw. It is one of the most effective survival instincts ever encoded in a mammal, now operating in a world saturated with triggers designed by people who understand your brain better than your brain understands itself. Understanding the mechanism doesn't neutralize the craving, but it changes something. When you reach for something sweet without hunger, what you're feeling is not weakness. It is a system doing exactly what it was built to do. So tonight, when you find yourself in front of the refrigerator at an hour you promised yourself you wouldn't, know that the hand reaching for something sweet is the same hand that kept your ancestors moving, searching, surviving. It just doesn't know yet that you already made it.